Okay? Okay. Just stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance. First order of business is minutes from October's meeting. Anybody have any changes or? No. Make a motion that meetings be accepted?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With that. Next, as far as the meeting for next month, we have a problem. The court's got to use the, has to use this office on the 13th, so we're looking at the 6th, January 6th. Is anybody available? Is it going to be a problem for anybody?
January 6th?
January 6th.
So no December meeting?
I'm sorry?
No December meeting, just
Yeah.
January?
Yeah,
Okay.
January 6th, yeah, because
Okay.
the court has to use it on the 13th.
Right, okay.
Anybody have a problem? I'm trying to see.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. Adam?
That's fine.
Granite?
That's good.
You're good? Okay. Then the next meeting will be January 6th. Okay. I received correspondence from the planning board. And this is regarding 9 Cliffside Court in Garrison. If you remember, this is a variance we had issued a while back regarding the driveway, the steep slope. This is from the chairman, Neil Zuckerman. Dear Mr. Diaz, you know the applicant owns a 1.12 acre lot on 9 Cliffside Court in Garrison. The property owner is proposing to construct a 2-bedroom, 1-family house on a current vacant tract. It is located in the town's RC zoning district, also within the Upland and Ridge Road development districts. Overlay zone recently created by the town board. The site is severely constrained by town-regulated steep slopes, and so the applicant will require relief from various town regulations in order to build, and which will involve multiple agencies. With respect to the project's current status, it is recognized that at your July 8th, 2024 meeting, the zoning board of appeals granted the applicant variances for the proposed driveway construction within slopes 35 degrees and the proposed house construction in slopes 20 degrees, which exceed the applicant regulations. However, 175-18-2C of the new UPDD and RRDD regulations also specify that impervious surface coverage within the lot may not exceed 10%. Per the applicant's consultant, the development proposal involves a 19.6% coverage. This was not addressed in a prior ZBA action. The reason it wasn't addressed because it wasn't given to us. As the town attorney has advised that relief of this section requires ZBA action, the matter again is being referred to your board. As you're likely aware, the Town Conservation Board has informed the Planning Board of their concerns relating to the major disturbances required to the town-regulated deep slopes, as well as significant extent of retaining walls needed to construct a driveway, the house and the septic system, which all point to their reservations over the potential development of track. These concerns may warrant consideration in your deliberations on this matter. Oh, I don't have their concerns, so Cheryl, I'm going to ask you to contact the Conservation Board and give us a letter or something like that, what the concerns are. And we're going to set this up for a meeting for January 6th, so you can afford the applicant, tell the applicant that. Okay. All right, we got that. First order of business is public hearing for Meehan-Hooks, 50 Healy Road, Cold Spring. Is anybody here? Want to step up to the microphone? Your husband left you alone this time, huh? Yeah. Okay. All right, basically we know what this is. This is, we're at the last meeting, but this is a public hearing in case anybody's got any questions. You're looking for a extension, kitchen extension, 2 feet, a couple inches by 18 feet for your home. And the reason you need the variance is because your house is basically up against the property line. Right. And the reason for that is in 1910, New York City took most of the property on eminent domain for the aqueduct, the Catskill Aqueduct. Okay, so As far as that, does anybody have any questions on the board for this applicant regarding?
What's the nearest, neighbor on that side? Can you even see them?
I can see no neighbors. No, on that side, so it would be, where the extension is would be facing the aqueduct.
Okay.
And the other side is a barn, so we actually can't see any neighbors.
Anybody have any questions? I'm going to go over is there any questions from the audience? Anybody want to speak to this application here? All right, okay. We use this thing called 5 factors. What that is helps us determine the variance or not. So you filled it out, so I'm going to go over the questions. Will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment to a nearby property be created by granting of the area variance? There will be no undesirable change to the character of our neighborhood, nor any detriment to nearby properties. The addition will be incorporated into the existing character of the house. It will not be visible to any other neighbor. Can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to pursue other than the area variance? We have explored several schematic options with architectural experts. This opinion is the least disruptive and most practical and provides the most functionality. Changing or enlarging the entryway is not possible due to constrained property lines, result of eminent domain. And without substantial changes, there would also impact the unique character and valuable views of the front of the house. Is the requested variance substantial? No, the addition will be approximately 45 square feet. The proposed property line proximity will not exceed that of the current closest distance to the covered property line. Will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood, the district? No, the adverse effect or impact is expected. The improvement will make the house a more functional family home. It is basically an extension to your kitchen, right?
It's an extension of the kitchen, but because of where the house is located, you actually don't walk in the front door, you walk into the kitchen.
Right, right.
And so basically, it gives us a place to put the hockey bags and the shoes,
The way-
before you just walk into the kitchen.
The way the city took that property line, you're almost walking onto city property in order to go out of the house.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
It's only
it's-
2 feet by 18
they're very
feet
close,
was
yeah.
the length of the thing.
Correct.
All right. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? No, the house was in existence approximately 50 years prior to the installation of the aqueduct, at which time there was a taking of lands by eminent domain by the city of New York. This resulted in a confining configuration of the property, leaving the structure positioned in a narrow throat of land. Due to challenges of existing property lines, creating a more functional entryway to accommodate a growing family elsewhere on the property is impractical. I agree with everything you said, in all honesty, and looking at everything. Does anybody else have any questions further on this?
No.
And there's nobody wants to speak at the public hearing? All right, so at this point, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And they ask for a roll call vote. Mary Kay?
I vote to grant the variance.
Okay. Is this
I
on?
vote to grant the variance also.
Grant
I vote to grant it.
it? Janice?
I
Okay, and
approve of the
And I
variance.
vote to grant, so you're all set?
Yep.
Okay?
Very much
Do you have a-
appreciate it.
Yes, wait a second, I gotta see if I have something here for you. Come on here. That's it.
Yeah, I put them up here before the meeting. Maybe they're under here.
Huh?
Are they under here?
I'm looking for a form that I can sign that you can give to the building inspector.
always get them to you tomorrow. If you want.
Yeah.
I had them here.
I don't see it.
Oh, here they are.
Oh,
Oh, they were in my package.
They were on the counter, because I just printed them tonight. So. There you go. There's two.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I found it, we found it.
Sorry, I didn't
No,
know.
no.
Okay, what this is, I'm going to give you here, this is an authorization that you could take to the building inspector tomorrow, that we approve this, and he'll be able to give you a building permit right away. Okay? You're all set. Okay. Next order of business is application for a drive-through window for a restaurant at Automar at 3070 Route 9, Cold Spring. Mr. Cooper? What's your title? You're the designer, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Want to show us what you're trying to design?
Sorry. Good evening. I'm Douglas Cooper, the representative for Manny Yanez, the owner of the property in question. I'd like to start out by mentioning that tonight's discussion is with respect to a drive-through variance, and that the main part of the development, meaning the gas station, the Dunkin' Donuts, the flex building, and the solar farm are all conforming and buildable as of right. Tonight is really only about the drive-through. At our last meeting, you requested some information on the traffic with respect to the drive-through.
Requested that, yes.
And whereas we expect a full formal traffic study to be done at the request of the planning board, I do have a one-paragraph response that I can hand out if that's okay.
Sure. Yes, please, read it aloud, please.
Dear Zoning Board of Appeals, with regards to the question of increased traffic resulting from the creation of a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, please see below. The proposed Dunkin' Donuts with drive-through window has been specifically located on Route 9, which is a natural busy thoroughfare that was chosen to attract motorists already on the roadway. Therefore, the proposed site would be expected to draw a large portion of trips from the traffic passing the site on their way from an origin to an ultimate destination, meaning commuters to train, commuters to work, moms to school, etc. These trips do not add new or significant traffic to the adjacent roadway system and are referred to as pass-by trips. Additionally, there is a very long queuing area of more than 350 feet, and it's dedicated to the drive-through alone, will not cause any backup or congestion as a result. And as I said before, a detailed traffic study will further attest to this at the request of the planning board.
Okay. I received, let's see, since our last meeting, last month, I received four emails regarding your application. One is from Roy Rosenstein, and he's pretty much not in favor of it. Another one's from Heather Hooks, 50 Healy Road. She's also not in favor of it. And I want to have one from Benita Utz, UTZ, Mountain Road, Cold Spring. I'm sorry? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And the other one is, last one is from Bettina Utz, Mountain Road, and she's against it also. And that's it. We had 3 last meeting we read. They're all here. Anybody wants to take a look at them. They're all in a file and everything else like that. So they're open to anybody to see them. Okay. My only question, I'm looking at a rendition.
Yes.
Okay. Does it show the drive-through window in this rendition?
Actually, no, because from Route 9, you cannot see the drive-through. It was specifically designed to be on the opposite side.
So what I'm looking at, the drive-through window is on the other side of the building. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now you got, as far as pumps, you got 4 pumps and 3 diesel pumps. So the 4 pumps, I imagine, are cars on each side, right? So it'd be 8 cars, and there'd be trucks with the diesel too, I guess, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. How many spaces in front of the convenience store, roughly?
How many what?
How many parking spaces in front of the convenience store? Any idea? Just an estimate.
There's 81 parking spaces, but that combines the Flex building. So between the gas station and Flex building, there's 81 parking spaces.
Yeah, but that's the other building, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just up the
And
way.
we're not involved with that
I
tonight.
can count it.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to get a rough idea.
I
Okay, so it
imagine
would be, they pull in front of the building, whatever the length of the building would be the spaces,
It's
correct?
probably 30.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't need an exact, I just was trying to get an idea. What are the operating hours of the business?
Operating hours would be probably from 7 in the morning up until 8 at night. It hasn't been decided.
So you haven't decided what your operating hours are?
Correct.
So it could be 24 hours then? If you decide to do it.
If it's possible and there's no restriction with that, I don't know.
Yeah,
if there
okay,
is.
just trying to get an idea. Okay. As you know, the zoning ordinance is pretty specific. You know, what I'm trying to say, is restaurant drive-up or drive-through windows shall be prohibited. So there's not a lot of room there. Can you tell me, in Philipstown, let's say along Route 9, of any drive-through facility?
Well, in this code, it's as you said, it's not allowed. So
So there is none at this time?
there is none.
So you would be
Yes.
you would be the first one, basically. what I'm
I
saying.
understand.
Okay. I tried to look, I did some research and tried to look at some stuff, maybe some other towns had some similar instances. And I found an article in the News Times of Newtown, Connecticut. It's dated October 20th, 2021. Okay, I'll read it to you. This is Newtown. The Land Use Board unanimously denied a request by a Route 6 service station at the Interstate 84 Exit 10 ramps to locate a Dunkin' Donut drive-in through shop through the existing convenience store. In denying the request, the chairman of the 5-member Planning and Zoning Commission said he wanted to prevent similar drive-through proposals by service stations or convenience stores in the Exit 10 corridor. The proposal is for a Dunkin' Donuts, but the text amendment, this is in their town, says convenience stores can have a drive-through window, so that definition is a lot broader, said Don Mitchell, the commissioner chairman, during a hearing earlier this month. The proposal can be written in a more limited way, but I don't want to draft a regulation on the fly for one business-specific use. So evidently they had a little question in their ordinance, you know, it didn't say exactly prohibited. Ours says prohibited, period. There's no question about it. The Land Use Board's denial, I put an end for now to the plans by the mobile service station to remove an overhanging pillow and make room for a Dunkin' Donuts. Service station owner and his consultant spent 3 hearings, revising drawings and so on and so forth. There's no space for the property, and Dunkin' Donuts would bring mostly traffic between 6 and 11 a.m. David Rose, an alternative member of Newton's Planning and Zoning, said he had concerns about the service stations being chaotic because there will be drive-through traffic, gas pumping traffic, convenience store traffic, and car wash traffic, all leading onto a busy road. And it's not the first time Dunkin' Donuts has been denied a drive-through request in the I-94 corridor by a local land use board. In 2019, a Connecticut judge upheld Danbury's decision to deny Dunkin' Donuts a drive-through window on a busy stretch of Mill Plain Road. So that's the only research I could find, you know, about anything that's similar. In both instances, they were denied.
I would say most
go
of
ahead.
those developments that you're talking about, they're pretty tight in their space. In other words, when you see a gas station, it doesn't have a lot of room usually. There's
Yeah.
not any queuing lines. This development was designed to allow for that. In fact, there's over 350 feet of queue line just for the drive-through.
Yeah.
It's not going to be used, but it's there. And the site, it's a very large site. It allows for that, but I would say that most sites that have gas stations are much smaller, and there's no way for planning that into their
Right.
infrastructure.
Well, I know, also did some more research, I looked to see how many Dunkin' Donuts don't have a drive-through window. I found out there's a lot of them.
So 64% is what I found have them, and the interest in them is much greater than not, meaning the economic factor involved is much stronger.
Well, there's two Dunkin' Donuts I know of. One's in Cortland, is on Route 6, and another one's on Route 6 a little further up at Jefferson Valley. And they've been in business for years. So I guess they're doing all right without the drive-up window, is what I'm trying to say. But let me say, if you were denied this, you would still go to the planning board with your gas station and convenience store and so forth, and Dunkin' Donuts store.
Well, it could still be built, as I said.
Yeah, right.
As far as whether we go forward, it's really up to the owner of the property.
Well, he
And I
doesn't know.
can't
I mean,
tell.
I'm saying you could build it without the window.
Yeah, because my mandate was they want the window because it's much stronger as an economic
Sometimes everybody
development.
doesn't get what they want in life, you know?
I know, and then I don't know that it's worthwhile for him or not, to be
Right.
honest. I can't answer to that.
Well, that's his concern.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to speak to this? You come up here and you can sit down.
Okay.
That's fine. And just tell us who you are, please.
My name is Madeline McGinley. I've lived in Philipstown for 22 years. I live on East Mountain Road North. I'll focus on the issues related to the variance that the applicant is seeking, although I see a lot of other issues with the project. So the first point I want to make is about the precedent that a variance would set. You know, there's a reason for the code which prohibits the drive-through in this zone, one of which, the intent of the code, was to retain the character of Philipstown. As per the town comprehensive plan, which took many years, as you know, to develop, chains like Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, etc., were not encouraged because they would not be in keeping with the essence of our town. So if you give one permission, the others would say that they are also entitled. And we could end up with drive-throughs all along Route 9, similar to our neighbors to the north in Fishkill. And there is a Dunkin' Donuts up in Fishkill and the gas station there. The second issue is about traffic and visibility. A drive-through gas station in an 18,000 square foot building, for which we really don't know its intended use, although I heard from the last meeting they mentioned there might be a warehouse and an office there. All of these uses would generate more traffic, although he says they wouldn't. Have you ever experienced the line of cars at the drive-through at the Starbucks in Fishkill? And although he's saying there's enough space to accommodate that, how do we know that 350 feet is going to be enough? So where are the cars going to line up? In terms of the traffic, like the spot that they've chosen, it's just not a good spot for this use. It's a hazardous spot. There's a blind curve as one approaches from the south, driving north. And I drive Route 9 a lot, so I know that blind curve. And then imagine the cars waiting to turn left as they're coming from the southbound lane. So unless there's a designated turning lane, there would be a backup there for sure. I am all too familiar with this spot as I frequent Beatty and Watson's office, and I'm terrified to make a left turn. I usually make a right turn and then go to the light at 301 and turn and go to like Glenwood or somewhere where I'm going to safely turn. It's, especially during rush hour, it's a dangerous area. So why make it even more dangerous? I understand they'll be doing a traffic study, and I think that they will come to a similar conclusion. And even though this 18,000 square foot building isn't part of your approval tonight, this drive-through cannot be seen on its own. It has to be seen in the context of the overall project. If it is going to be a warehouse, you're going to have trucks coming in and out. That's going to be dangerous too. Everything just seems to be a traffic nightmare waiting to be happened. Thank you.
Well, let me explain it. First of all, the only thing before us is the drive-through window.
Yes.
Okay? The planning board will be handling the traffic and all like that, and the other building and all like that. That'll be the planning board's job. Now, if we happen to deny this tonight, he could still go to the planning board.
Yes.
And go through with the thing. The only thing he wouldn't have is a drive-through window.
Yes.
Yeah, okay? All right, anybody else would like to speak? Yes. Tell us who you are, please.
Alice Krakauer, 563 East Mountain Road North, 21 and a half year resident. You know, it sounds like to deny the drive-through window would be to deny a big part of an incentive for the Dunkin' Donuts, possibly. To me, you know, setting this precedent of drive-throughs, you know, invites McDonald's in addition to other Dunkin' Donuts. You know, again, I second Madeline's points that it's inviting garish, conspicuously commercial kinds of buildings, not in keeping with the character of Philipstown. And, you know, the ordinance was put in place, the zoning ordinance, for a reason, right? Having to do with the character of Philipstown. And so what would override that value? It's not like we need a Dunkin' Donuts. This area is not a fast food desert. There's, in addition to wonderful places that are open during the day, Vera's Best Cider Donuts in the Hudson Valley, a CIA-trained chef at B&L Deli. There's also BP, 6/10 of a mile north of the Automar site, is a BP gas station with a mart that serves food 24 hours a day. They have, you know, like sausage, egg, and cheese, the kind of stuff you get at Dunkin'. You know, sandwiches, they have cold-cut sandwiches that they make. They have pre-made sandwiches once that section closes. They have microwavable stuff, bagels, Twinkies, ice cream freezer. I talked to the manager tonight. That's why I'm really up on what's going on over there. And they're open 24 hours a day.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
They made me hungry.
We already have a gas station, you know, paired with a 24-hour food mart, fast food mart. And there happens also to be a traffic light at that location.
Okay.
Which, you know, so, you know, as the manager said to me, no, we don't need a place like that down there. You know, I told him I was coming to a hearing, and what could he tell me about what he serves? And, you know, it seems redundant to me, so I don't know what would override the values that set this ordinance in place. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Yes, woman in the back. Hi.
Immune compromised.
Come up and tell us who you are.
Yes, my name is Joan Tanser. I live at 4 Quarry Lane. That's the first house on Quarry Lane, off of Route 9. That curve is a nightmare on a good day.
Could you speak into the mic, because I really can't hear you.
I'm a low talker, yeah.
Speak into the mic, we'll be able to hear you.
Okay. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay. I live on Quarry Lane. We're the first house off of Route 9 on Quarry Lane. We've had this house for 10 or 15 years now, somewhere in there. It's a mess. We have a neighbor whose child is now in college, but who every day drove him to school because she didn't want him to be endangered by the traffic on Route 9. It is a blind corner. And when we bought this house, and Quarry Lane is a private road, which I don't think we knew when we bought the house until we really were closing. But when we bought the house, we looked and looked and looked and looked. to find a place that was in keeping with the character that was affordable at the time, in keeping with the character that we were looking for coming from the city. And the dangers that are presented in terms of environmental issues, gas and diesel and trucks and idling and cooking and the noise and the congestion on an already very congested little piece of property, it poses a real risk to the health and well-being of our community. And not to mention what it does to property values, so that we can have just another, I mean, there's a Dunkin' Donuts by the supermarket. It's not that far. There's a gas station up the block. It's not that far. And this kind of modification to the area hurts all of us who live in the area. It makes it something industrial. It makes it something cheesy and garish and crappy. And that's unfair, so that someone, and perhaps as investors, do better at the expense and make extra money at the expense of those of us who are committed to the community and who live here. That's really what I have to say. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any questions?
Yes, sir. No, I'm good, I got it.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the other board members. I love your investigation and the article that you were reading. I'm very familiar with exit 10 on 84 in Newtown. That intersection happens to be a very straight intersection, separated road, and yet they would not approve a drive-through. As my other neighbors mentioned, and my name is Scott Apgar, I live on Corey Lane also.
Okay.
That stretch, and I'm sure we're all familiar, going north on Route 9 is a blind intersection. When I turn left, if I'm going into my development, I take my life in my own hands. I'm looking in my rearview mirror as cars are never going the speed limit, are barreling down on top of me. I cannot fathom 350 feet, because I know Automar, I love George, I love the fact that I could drop my car off and get it serviced and walk home, how 350 feet apron provides enough space. And the fact that we stand here and say, oh, well, it will 7 to 8 a.m., I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that. This is going to be open from before sunrise, when it's still dark out, to what hours in the evening? Just the amount of traffic. And clearly, as it was said, the incentive is for a drive-through window to just drive up more sales and more cars. It makes no sense to me. And I will also echo the comments that I moved to Cold Spring, to Philipstown, because it is a quaint town. And there are reasons, there are laws, and these zoning laws are there. We opened the door, I'm very disturbed. Hence why I work in the city. I made sure I took a half day today to get here to speak tonight to you guys. So thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak on this at this time? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Chris Sexton. I am 2 months shy of being a 50-year resident of Cold Spring. I concur with everyone here tonight in regards to the safety concerns and the increased traffic. And I think we are losing sight. It has nothing to do with the queue or how long it is. You can take the queue and make it all 27 acres of Automar. Indifferent and inconsequential. The issue happens to be the safety. And as Scott mentioned, if you are heading north and trying to make a left into Corey Lane, you have cars passing you. You will now have cars exiting with no control. I will never get out of my road to go to work in the morning. I will certainly not be sitting with my son down on the edge of the road waiting for his bus stop, which, by the way, there are bus stops several feet from Quarry Lane, several feet after Quarry Lane, creating more and more of a traffic nightmare and a safety issue for these children. So, quite honestly, I understand you will go forward with your plan if that is so your choice, but a drive-through window is prohibited by your own zoning code. And therefore, I ask that the board respect the work that has been done prior. So, thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak to this time? Yes, sir.
Hi, Travis Youngst. I'm a resident on Route 9, so I live actually just south of Corey Lane, and my daughter is one of those who actually use the bus stop as it is. I'm not going to say anything different than my neighbors have said, but I think it's important to show the numbers of us that have this concern, so I'm adding to what everybody said here. When I make a left turn out of my driveway, which is on Route 9, it is almost like slalom. I have to gun it to make a left turn. And there is a bad blind sight. And I can just picture all the cars lining up, coming south into the gas station, going in and out of there and trying to pass around them to get past them that are making a left turn, veering even into over the double yellow line to get around. So let's admit, everybody does 90 miles an hour down there. I can hear it every day from my house. And I strongly encourage you to deny the drive-through component. Sounds like it is against code. And again, just want to voice my additional concerns from a safety perspective. That was it.
That's what this meeting is for.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this, regarding this? Okay. Mr. Cooper, want to go up by the microphone? I'm going to, oh, wait, hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Hold on, one more. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand.
No problem. So Rich Rommel, I have a house on Jaycox, and I voice the same concerns that my fellow neighbors have. I'm not even sure why we're here today to discuss something that's already, a law in place.
They can apply,
So,
you understand?
okay.
This is the Board of Appeals, so they got turned down, so they come here and they have to ask
Got it.
us, so,
So let's do the right thing, turn them down, and move forward.
thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cooper? All I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the 5 factors, and you answered the questions now, and with you, okay? Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Cooper at this time, board members?
Yeah, I just have, Mr. Cooper, just a quick clarification question. I understand that the owner of the property is Mistis Properties 370, Inc.?
Yes.
Now, Automar, is that a leasee of the property? What is Automar in relation to the owner?
None. There's no relation. They've sold I don't know if they were a lease or not, but the owner is Misty's.
So what is Automar?
It used to own it, right, guys? Like, it was a previous owner, there was a big sign that said Automar on the front of the building. That's not there anymore, but
I just need to
Yeah.
clarify, because they are listed as the applicant.
As the applicant, no, I don't believe so.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's in Automar's, the site was the Automar's property previously. They're not the applicant.
So the applicant is Mistis Properties 370, Inc.
Actually, I'm the applicant, but it's owned by Mistis Properties.
So you're
I'm
appearing
not
on
involved in
behalf of
ownership.
the owner, Mistis
I'm
Properties
acting on behalf.
370.
I don't own any part of it, no.
Right,
Yeah.
you're appearing
Representing.
on behalf of the applicant seeking this variance.
Yes.
And Automar is simply that, a name given to the former use of the property.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay. On these, like I said, these 5 factors, these are questions that we ask. I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
First off, have you petitioned New York State to break the double yellow line on Route 9 so people can turn left into the gas station, Dunkin' Donuts?
No.
Do
We
you
haven't
plan
gotten
to
that
do
far. We've had just one meeting with the planning board, and they referred us to you. And we've met with the conservation board.
Legally, you're not supposed to cross the double line to make the left. And then the second question I have is, how are you going to preclude people from making a left from the north in, or a left from the south going south again? How do you plan to keep people from crossing the double line?
So that has to do with the traffic study that is yet to be done. Again, we've only met once with the planning board. We were immediately referred to you, and we've met once with the conservation board.
The planning board will be deciding that.
Yeah,
right, on
they
the
they
traffic.
are
That's
taking the
it.
lead, yes.
Our basically is just that this is drive-through window.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me ask these questions here. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So for the second factor, can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to pursue other than the area variance? And you responded no. I don't mean to sound obvious here, but what is the benefit of the drive-through?
Well,
Like,
if we go through the 5 questions, maybe it'll answer that for you.
is it for the whole project, or is it just to have the fact of a?
Can be built as of right, is conforming as it is without a drive-through. Whether or not the owner pursues that, I can't answer. I don't know. If you're looking to find out if there's any benefit at all to a drive-through, I think it's here, but I can also verbalize. I think there is some benefit to that. I don't think there's increased traffic from it, but we would find that out in a traffic study. This meeting is only to allow that to happen. It is not an approval of the development without any restriction.
It's so vague, and the benefit, and we hear the entire community saying, we don't have drive-throughs allowed. So, when you bring in a project that's a gas station, a storage shed, and some kind of food convenience store, it's like, what is the benefit? Is it the entire project? Is it the restaurant? Is it the drive-through?
Well, I think it's all combined. The drive-through provides a retail anchor. I mean, in other words, Dunkin' Donuts is much more valuable with the drive-through. If there's no negative impact, I don't see any issue with that for residents or anyone else. Traffic is another story, and I can't really answer to that.
I'm not worried about the traffic for purposes of the meeting tonight. Like, the traffic you keep saying is gonna be the traffic study before the planning board. I
Correct.
did notice that one of the participants said that we're talking a lot about the queue and not the reality of people turning off Route 9 into, and the number of trips of people slowing down to make that turn to come in to visit the drive-through, but
Maybe they need a light there. You know, it sounds to
Right.
me that's a very strong possibility.
So it's saying that, will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No, not in the sense that it will negatively impact traffic or appearance. We don't actually know that yet, because there's no traffic
Well,
study.
We're going to go over those now.
Okay.
Got the 5 factors. We're going to start, we'll do over this now. All right, will undesirable change be reduced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment to safety properties be created by granting area variance? The answer to that was no. Route 9 is a heavily trafficked road and will remain so irrespective of this development. Proposed development provides an important useful facility. What's that, the Dunkin' Donuts? Is that what your useful
Yeah.
facility? Okay.
Well, all of it, but yes,
Well-
all of it adds to the
Well, Dunkin'
tax
Donuts
road.
would still be there, it just wouldn't have a window.
If
I
it
mean,
was
could be.
built,
Right,
yes.
Okay, just trying to say. And adds revenues and jobs to the town. Okay, number 2, can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to pursue other than area variance? You put no. But there again, I'd have to, I have to disagree with you a little bit there, because you can still go through the planning board. You can still have your gas station, if they okay it. You can still have your convenience store, and you can still have your Dunkin' Donuts, right? So, is the requested area variance substantial? No, not in the sense that it is negatively impact traffic or appearance. There's a very long dedicated queue line for the drive-through, and the drive-through itself is hidden on the opposite side of the building. 4, will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical?
Can we just talk about the variance being substantial?
Sure.
Because I think it is substantial. I think it's 100% variance.
In what way?
Because we go from having the code prohibit a drive-through window to a drive-through window being allowed.
Right.
It's one or the other. So the
Right.
fact that he says, well, it's behind the building, you can't see it, it's yes or no, like, do we have it there or not?
Right.
So I actually think it is a substantial variance.
Okay. Anybody else, any questions on this?
agree with her. I would agree on that.
Okay. 4, would a proposed variance have an adverse effect of physical, environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? No, not in the sense that it will negatively impact traffic or appearance. There's a very long dedicated line, I would say hidden on the other side of the building, went through that. And all sanitary, sewer, and storm damage is addressed on the ground. It meets all code requirements. All setbacks for building, including floor plan and wetlands, et cetera, are also met. 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created? Yes. However, having a drive-through provides the necessary economic relief of a retail anchor, whilst not negatively impacting the traffic or surroundings. Well, like we discussed before, there's plenty of Dunkin' Donuts shops that don't have drive-through windows in business, have been in business for years. So I don't think it would, I don't know what percentage it was impact
Yeah, it's
business.
less
I don't,
than half.
what incentives would impact business, I don't know. Okay.
Less
But,
than half, yeah.
All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into a closed session to discuss legal issues with counsel.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll be right out. We're just going to talk attorney. Okay. All right.
I make a motion to come out of closed session.
I second it. All in favor? All right. Okay. On a public hearing. Mr. Cooper, would you like to add anything else into your summation here? Anything you would want to add to us, to this? No? Okay. Is there any people who haven't spoken would like to speak? I'm sorry?
Maybe I would say.
Sure.
I haven't said anything because I sent a letter, which you alluded to.
Sure.
And summarized.
That's what public hearing's about. You're allowed to speak.
Roy Rosenstein. I've been in town for 63 years and hope to be around for a while yet. 719 East Mountain Road South. I won't reiterate the 7 points that I made in my letter, because most of them have been mentioned by other speakers tonight. All I would say is read the 3 lines of introduction to my longer letter. And that is to say, as a long-term local resident, I can see many reasons why an exception should not be made at the Automar site, but not a single one why a variance should be granted. Rules are made for good reasons, not to be broken. And I haven't heard, if I were to draw a conclusion tonight, I haven't heard a reason why a variance should be granted. We've talked about a lot of issues, not all of them concerning a variance, but I haven't heard one reason why a variance should be granted. We have a rule, we have a law. Why we would change it in this case, I haven't heard that. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? That's it? All right, this time make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, just for the board's sake, we're going to go over these 5 factors for ourselves. Will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment or nearby properties be created by granting an area variance? Does anybody have anything to say on that?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Yes is the answer. I believe, I'm tangling myself up, sorry about that. But it is a change in the character of the neighborhood. The laws are clear. There are no drive-throughs in the area. There are no drive-throughs in Philipstown on Route 9. If we were to grant your variance, we would be opening the door to other businesses having drive-throughs on Route 9 in Philipstown.
Can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to pursue other than the area variance? And the answer is yes. You can still go through with your building. You could still have the gas station, you can still have your business, you can still have the convenience store, and you can still have your donut shop. The only thing you wouldn't have would be the drive-up window. Is the requested area variance substantial?
I think it is substantial. I think it's 100% variance. It's a yes or a no. Is there a window or not? So
Right.
the law says no windows.
Well,
So here we would have a window. And
Right.
it doesn't say whether or not you can see the window. That's not the analysis. It just says no windows.
Right. And what, does say restaurant drive-through windows shall be prohibited. Doesn't give a lot of room for, misinterpretation. It's pretty much in your code there. Number 4 is will proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? Well, like I say, we're back to the same thing. There is no, on all of Route 9 in Philipstown, or even in any of Philipstown, there is no drive-through window, and which the code basically states it's prohibited, period. Number 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created? Yeah, because, you want the drive-through window, but that's not going to stop you from going to the going to the planning board and speaking about going through for a gas station, a Dunkin' Donut shop, and a convenience store. You could still do that, so there's really no harm except the window, as far as I'm concerned. At this time, I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on the variance. Mr.
I vote to deny.
Deny? Hatton Downs?
I vote to deny.
Mary Kay?
I vote to deny.
Mr. Stone?
I vote to deny for all the reasons stated.
And I vote to deny for all the reasons stated. So, seeing that there is no drive-through window in Philipstown, I don't see any reason that one should be there now. Okay, so it's denied unanimously. Okay, thank you. Is there any other business? Anybody have any other business? I'd make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, that's it.